Hello from Brooklyn and welcome to episode number 6, I believe. My name is Jimmy and this is a knitting podcast. Today is Saturday, July 21st, and I've been playing hooky for a long time. I think the last time I recorded was maybe 2 months ago. But anyway, I wanted to sit down today and record a little something. I'm not sure how long this is going to be because I don't have much to show. But anyway, I wanted to record something. So let's see. You can find me on Instagram as JonBoyNY, and you can find me on Ravelry under the same username as JonBoyNY. I'll write the details at the bottom of the screen and at the doobly-doo box. Today, like I said, I don't have much to show because I'll explain, I guess, as I go. But anyway, I am going to show you one finished object that I finished a month ago, and then I'll talk about other things that I'm working on at the moment, I guess, and other things that I'm going to be working on in the near future. But let's get started. Last time I showed you a swatch that I had been working on for my, here it is, I think you remember, the swatch for my Zweig sweater by Caitlin Hunter, and that is what I finished. So this is the swatch. I swatched it in ChileKnitz Cuddly sock base, which is merino and nylon, and in the colorway Opaltini. This is not the color I was going to use. This is just some extra that I had that I wanted to use for swatching. And here it is, the, well, not finished, not quite finished product, because I haven't blocked it and I haven't woven in the ends yet, because just because that's my least favorite. And this is a gift for Connie. Well, not really. This is a knit for Connie of ChileKnitz when she comes to New York later in the year in October for Rhinebeck. She wanted some samples of her some of her colorways, and I offered to knit her something for when she came, so that's what I did. And here it is. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see it. Anyway, so yeah, that's all I have. Short episode today. No. But yes, that's all the finished objects that I have for today. This was a lot of fun to knit. Like I said, I knitted it with ChileKnitz yarns. The dark one is Gondola, and her cuddly sock base, which I said was nylon, merino 8515, I think, Merino nylon blend, and the white one with speckles is her Oops, I Spilled the Neons, I believe it's called. Anyway, I'll explain what I did. I think I knitted the small size, which is, I think, a 36-inch bust measurement. I don't remember, but I think it's the small size that I knitted. And as you can see, I haven't woven in the ends. I used 2.5 US, which I think is a 3mm, for the ribbing of the collar and the cuffs of the sleeves, and I used a 4 for the body, and I used a US 5 for some of the colorwork sections because I wanted it to be the pattern doesn't call for it, but I wanted it to be a little bit more loose. But anyway, let's see, what else can I say about this pattern? You start from the collar, the neck, to top-down construction. So you start with the ribbing and the collar, then you move on to stockinette. You do some short row shaping in the back. I did this with a group of Spanish-speaking knitters on Ravelry as a knit along, and a lot of them were having trouble with the short rows. I don't know why they seem to get big holes, which is, I did, you know, the wrap and turn as the pattern calls for, and I don't seem to have that problem, fortunately. Right, so anyway, so that's what I did. I did wrap and turn, short rows for the neck shaping, and then the pattern calls for color work. You start with color work in this section, and like I said, I used a bigger needle for that color work so that I guess I wouldn't run, it's really small, so I guess it doesn't really make much of a difference, but I didn't want to run the risk of puckering, and I think it's fine. I think it's not puckering. And then I moved on to the lace section of the yoke, and that was fun. I think the sweater is inspired by the movie Grand Budapest Hotel, and I think that this lace section is inspired by the windows. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know if I'm understanding this correctly, but that's what I thought. And this was a lot of fun, actually. It was entertaining, challenging, but not too challenging. I thought it has some lace work and some twisted stitches. So, and then after that, you move on to another section of color work, and that's the end of the yoke. Then you separate the sleeves from the body, and you keep working the body. The body has a bit of texture. I don't know how clear it is. I alternated skeins because I didn't want to get that much noticeable pooling. There is some, I guess there's always the risk of that, but it's not so bad. And I don't know if you can see the texture. It's some kind of X texture, which I really enjoyed. And then the ribbing, and for the ribbing I chose to, at the very bottom, I chose to put a little stripe of the same color as the lace on the yoke. The pattern doesn't call for that, but I chose to do that. I think it looks nice, but we'll see. And then I also the pattern doesn't call for it, but I'm not sure that you can see. Should get out of the. Not sure you can see it at all. I did a, what is it called? Tubular bind off, so that it doesn't. It just seems the knitting just seems to like go around the edge of the knitting. So, and then you pick up the sleeves and work the sleeves, and then you work these really long cuffs so that it creates kind of like a puffy sleeve when you wear it, right? And I did the same thing. I added a stripe of the white, and then I did a tubular bind off on the sleeves as well. Things I learned. I guess if Connie's watching this, hopefully not. Look away, because I don't want you to see this. But I learned that I probably shouldn't have done the texture when I was about to separate the sleeves from the body. It turned out that it was a row where texture was going to start, and I didn't think about it, so I kind of started it. But when I picked up the sleeves, I realized that because the texture is these kind of like twisted stitches on the underarm, it creates bigger holes than normal. I mean, it's usual to have holes on the underarms, which you can fix, but because the texture pulls on the, so you can see it pulls on the fabric anyway, it creates a little bit of a hole sometimes. The holes are exaggerated, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to close them better. This is, I haven't really tried it yet, but I kind of smartened up a little bit on the next sleeve, and I kind of picked up stitches and extra stitches, and then knit them together, kind of thing, so that the holes are smaller, but I still have to work those holes to close them when I weave in all the ends. But anyway, so that's the only thing that I was like, darn, I wish I had thought about this before I finished the sweater. But otherwise, I think it's fun. I think it's cool, and it still needs blocking. So, and you know, fixing all the little details and weaving in the ends. So when I block it, I will show it to you again. see what it looks like then. Hopefully I don't ruin it in the blocking. But yeah. So that's all my finished objects for today. I finished that about a month ago, and since then I've been working on something else, but I guess that requires a little bit of explanation. A group of friends and I got together and decided to do like a Secret Santa sort of thing. We decided to exchange shawls among ourselves. So the idea is that we would knit a shawl and then mail it to whoever we get that we have to send it to. And because we all watch each other's podcasts or blogs or whatever, we're not supposed to show this until the person gets it, so it's supposed to be a secret. So I've been working a lot, but I cannot show you much. I will share some of what I've done. I decided to to dye some yarn for the shawl because I thought it would be nice. It would be it would make it maybe a little more unique, give it a little bit more meaning to the shawl and make it a little more special for whoever gets it, because I'm not really a designer, or I thought maybe just knitting it was kind of dull, so I wanted to make it a little more special for my friend who's getting the shawl. So I dyed some yarns, and the shawl is here in this bag, and I'm not going to be able to show you the color either. I'm going to show you, but I'm going to have to take the color away from the screen. So let's see. This is, even though it looks tiny, this is what I have so far, and that's all I'm gonna I think I'm gonna get yelled at for doing that, but anyway. And I dyed some skeins of yarn, and this is what I have left from a couple of colors, and this is what I have left from another color. And these are, I dyed these myself. And what I'm going to do, because I still would like to share what I've been working on and what I've been doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record like a little section where I show the shawl and what I've been doing, and then I'm going to include it in an episode later on when my friend has received the shawl and it's no longer a secret, right? The deadline is November, so I'm guessing I'm going to show you towards the end of November what it was. So I'm going to show you, I'll show you the colors, and I'll show you the work that I've been doing, and then I'll show you the final results when I finish it. But I haven't finished it, and I've been working on that. I've also been working on a pair of socks that I want to do for Rhinebeck this year. I think I showed you the yarn a couple of episodes ago, and this is a AlexCreates yarn, and I'm working the socks 2 at a time, and this is what I have so far. I probably should get a blocker. Anyway, I'm back. These are the socks I've been working on. They are top-down construction. I am not following a pattern. I'm just it's kind of a vanilla sock, I guess. I just did a little bit of this is what it looks like. I did a little bit of structure here, which I'm not sure you can see. It's kind of like a traveling stitch thing that goes around the sock. And then I did a heel flap and gusset, and they're getting close to being done. And I think last time I showed you I was just starting the ribbing. I'm working with Chiagoo's. I think they're 2.25. I think they're US ones. I'm pretty sure. US ones. I cast on 80 stitches. I did a German twisted cast on, and I did about 20 rows of 2x2 ribbing, and then I started the sock with the traveling stitch pattern. And then I didn't continue that in the foot section. I'm just going to do a plain vanilla. And yeah. So this is an ombre sock duo from AlexCreates, which, as you can see, it goes from dark to light. And I'm going to actually use the same color as I used for the Zweig sweater. I'm going to use that as the toe, the contrasting toe for this, which I think would be nice. It would kind of like go back to this for for the toe. Right. So hopefully next time I record it, these will be done. Right. So yeah. As you can see, they're shorty socks. I like shorty socks better than long socks. I have I guess I have really chubby calves, and longer socks just annoy the hell out of me, and I always end up rolling them down towards my ankle. So I thought, why knit longer socks if I hate them? so I decided I was just going to make them shorter. right? And that's kind of, well, I also have another work in progress uh, that is waiting to be frogged because I made a mistake. But I wanted to show you because I showed you the yarns not last time, but a couple of episodes ago. And let me get the bag. I think, I don't know if you remember, a couple of episodes ago I showed you this blanket, scarf, blanket I think they call it, in some circles, that I made for my roommate, but I made it with the wrong type of yarn. This is silk and alpaca, and alpaca is very, very, very slippery, which is nice. It makes things very drapey, and it's very warm, and it's great for the winter. But it is the wrong yarn for this type of stitch. This is a Honeycomb Brioche, and I didn't follow a pattern. I just cast on a whole bunch of stitches, and I made it really long because that's what my roommate wanted it, and that's how he wanted it. And well, let's see if I can find a spot that might have that issue, or I could just create the issue, because this is so slippery. If you're wearing it and it happens to get stuck somewhere, it could really, really get pulled, right? And then it doesn't look so nice anymore. And my roommate's gonna kill me. Oops, I'll have to fix it some later. But anyway, that is the issue, right? If it gets pulled, it gets pulled very easily, and it goes a long way, right? So not very convenient if you're riding the subway. It's really crowded, and someone's necklace, someone's backpack, someone's earrings, I don't know, whatever, get stuck on that, and then you end up pulling, and it's a tragedy. Anyway, so beautiful project, wrong yarn, right? I showed you this last time. I decided that I was going to redo it for him, and I got some Brooklyn Tweed yarn, and I started doing it again. I was experimenting with alternating yarn each row, and then starting to for the border, and then I started doing the Honeycomb Brioche section, and the yarn is beautiful, it's looking great, and blah blah blah. And then I realized I made a mistake. I misread my notes about the Honeycomb Brioche, and I was supposed to use the blue as the background and the white as the foreground, and I did it backwards. And my roommate doesn't care, he thinks it's fine, but I don't like it, and I have more blue than I have white because that's what I thought was going to be the case. So I'm going to rip it out and start again. but I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you what I have been doing, because you're gonna be like, lazy. He's not doing anything. But I've been I've been knitting. For the last 2 months I've been knitting, I swear. Right? And I love this stitch actually. I think it looks great, but I think it's gonna look better with the blue in the back and the white in the foreground. And these are the colors. They're Brooklyn Tweed Vale, and the white. The white is hammock, and the blue one, it's this kind of like dark navy blue sort of looking, is sashiko, which later on I found out that sashiko was this kind of I guess like Japanese embroidery kind of thing, where the background is this this kind of at least from what I've seen, I am not an expert, but the background is kind of like this color fabric, and the embroidery where they make the shapes is this color, white. So I actually think that when I'm finished with this in a century or two, because I keep messing up, this is going to look like that kind of Japanese embroidery, with the background in that dark navy and the embroidery sort of looking threads in white. So that's kind of exciting and motivating. But anyway, I was using my Leica needles in US 6, and yeah, so I think I'll stick with those for when I start again. But yeah, so I'm going to rip out all the work and start again, and then I'll show you what that turns out into. Stay tuned for the next 2 centuries. And let's see, that's all I've been working on. And the next section is going to be future projects. Because my mind is like that. I'm not done with all the projects I'm doing, but I want to start more. I guess that's the sign of a true addicted knitter. But anyway, for after I finish my friend's shawl that I'm sending away, I want to start another sweater by Caitlin Hunter, the same designer as this Zweig sweater. She came out with a new design in May, I think, Sapila, and I saw her working on it on her interview on Christy Glass Knits, and I was very eager for it to come out. And when it came out, I immediately bought it, and I cannot wait to start knitting it. I'll show you a picture here. The yarns that I'm going to use are going to be, again, ChileKnitz. I'm going to use in the Cuddly sock. I'm going to use this one for the body, and this one for the colorwork, the contrasting colorwork section. This one is called Blue Jeans, this one's called Amber, and this is This is what they look like caked up. And I love the contrast between these two. And the pattern is interesting because I think I'm going to do some re-engineering, so that'll be a challenge. Because the pattern was inspired by I think Caitlin's mother and grandmother, so it's a very Mother's Day sort of inspired sweater. I don't care. I'm going to do it for me. And I don't care. But it is designed as a boxy sweater for a woman. I am not going to make it boxy because I don't want it to be boxy, but I'm going to make it to my size that has just a little bit of, maybe like an inch or two of positive ease. But the problem is that, because I'm sure you've seen the boxy sweaters and you have experience maybe knitting the boxy type sweaters. They have a lot of positive ease, but the sleeves are fitted to the right size, or even a bit of a tighter size. So the sweater that would fit my chest measurements would not fit my sleeve measurements, right? That it would be way too tight. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to figure out a sweater that has enough stitches, because it's a top down construction, a sweater that has enough stitches across the yoke that when I separate the sleeves from the body, I have enough sleeves for the body and I have enough sleeves for my size of arms, upper arms. It's not like, I mean, I'm not muscular or anything, I'm just chubby. So but still I can't put on a sweater that has spaghetti sleeves basically, because I do. But anyway, so I'm going to have to figure out the maths for that. Wish me luck, because that would be the first time I do something like that. But I think I used to be pretty good in math when I was little, so I think I can figure that out. So that's future project number 1. I want to do that as a birthday gift for me. My birthday is next month, so I cannot wait to finish that shawl so I can start this sweater. Something else that I'm going to be working on is I got the yarn dyeing bug, because I did that for the shawl for my friend, and I dyed some other yarns. Let me show you. I dyed these yarns. These are merino silk blends. I think 70% merino, 30% silk. I dyed these for a shawl. I'm going to make another Stephen West shawl. I'm going to make another dotted race. This is the dotted race that I made last year, and I don't want to pull it because it's in a hook, but this is the dotted race that I made last year. And I'm not done with it. I want to make another one. I'm going to make this as a gift for a friend. My friend doesn't know who it is, and that's fine. I'm not gonna say, because he or she might watch this podcast, and I don't want them to know until they get it. But I thought in my head that I would do like a faded dotted rays in seat stitch rather than garter stitch. So we'll see. I'm going to start with this yellow with some gray and black stains. And then I'm going to fade it into this light gray with yellow streaks through it, and then I'm going to finish with this darker gray. Right, so it's going to start with this and fade into this, and I'm probably going to have some mohair, some shibui mohair that I'm probably going to hold together with throughout the shawl. So we'll see. That one is not going to be a secret knit, so I will be able to show progress as I'm doing it, because my friend doesn't know that is his or her gift. So, right, and let's see. That's my next project that I have in mind. Other things that I wanted to share with you. Let's see. Last month was Worldwide Knit in Public Day thing. Anyway, it was knitting in public worldwide in like June 9th or June 10th, something like that last year. So my local yarn shop, which is Knitty City, well, I'm fortunate enough to have many local yarn shops actually, but my favorite in the city, in New York City, is Knitty City. They organized something on Bryant Park, and I went and I knitted for a while with some folks there, and it was a lot of fun. I had a great time, and it was a really, really fun experience. I got to knit outdoors, which is fun, and share with a lot of people that had the same interests and fascinations. So it was fun. And after that, they were super sweet and super kind, and they did a feature on me on their Instagram account, where they talked a little bit about me. They showed a little bit of my knitted projects that I've done. So if you want to go and check out the posts that they shared, I will leave a link to their Instagram account on the bottom of on the doobly-doo. And so that was great fun. And then later that month, there was a friend that came from Chile, and her name is Maga, and she came to spend a couple of days here in New York. I think her husband had a business trip, and she came along, and she's actually the one that brought me some of this ChileKnitz goodness, which I didn't. Did I say the name for this? Embers. but anyway. And she also she has a yarn store in Santiago in Chile, and she was very kind, and she, let's see, where do I have, she brought me a couple of, sorry, I'm out of screen, but she brought me a couple of yarns that she sells, and these are also so soft merino and silk. I think her company is called Sur Knitters, which is like South Knitters, which is very appropriate in Chile. And these colors are beautiful. I also I'll pop a picture. I dyed a skein of yarn for her, and I think she liked it very much. And so we went to Central Park, and we walked around, and we sat down and knitted for a while, and we had a really fun time. So can't wait for Maka to come back so we can sit and have coffee and knit again. And so that was fun too. And what else? I got some more AlexCreates yarn, because I had gotten this in the past, but some of my friends had got to get together in Barcelona, and I sent them the skein that I had gotten from AlexCreates at the Lion Brand Studio. So I went and got some more for myself, because I wanted some. And the most exciting acquisition that I have is from Dogstar Knits. Right. Dogstar Knits is Jake and Ray. They have a fun podcast. I love watching their podcast. And a couple of months ago, they started a make-along, which they called Crafting Kindness, I believe. Make-along, and I wanted to participate. I actually, the idea behind this was that you would either share your craft with someone, make something for someone, teach someone how to do your craft, anything related to sharing with others, sharing of yourself and your craft with others. And my idea was to enter the tops that I made for my sisters as my entry into the make along. I showed you the last episode the finished objects, but I was too dumb and too excited, so I finished the podcast and I wrapped them up, because the next day was Mother's Day and I was going to see both my sisters, so I gave them away, never took a picture. So I decided to enter the socks that I had made for myself, the yellow socks that I showed in the last couple of episodes. I'll post a picture so you can remember what socks I'm talking about. I decided to enter those because I ended up giving those to my roommate when I was blocking them. He saw them, and yellow is my roommate's favorite color, and he said that they were really nice, and we have the same foot size, so I decided to give him socks because I can always make, and I will make another pair of those socks for me. So that was my entry, and I won something. But actually, before I show you what I won, this make along was very interesting. I had never thought about crafting and kindness together. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get too esoteric, but the other day when I went to Men's Knit Night at Lion Brand Studios, I try to go there. They have a knit night once a month, usually once a month, and I try to go every month when I can. Last time, I was working on the socks that I just showed you. I had just actually finished turning the heels on my socks when someone came in who'd never been there before, and he was working on his first set of socks, and he was having trouble with the heel flap and turning the heel and the gusset. He didn't know how to do it, and no one else there really knew how to do it, but I did. So I sat down next to him, and I taught him how to do it. And it was a really taught him. It was a really amazing experience, actually, because I have never taught. I keep using ear bunnies. I had never taught anyone anything about knitting. I taught myself how to knit online with YouTube tutorials and whatever. So I don't really feel like an authority in knitting or in teaching anybody how to do knitting or anything like that. And this is the first time that I actually did teach someone, and it was really amazing. He was very receptive, fortunately. He understood everything that I was trying to say. And so clearly he was a smart guy, because I'm not sure how clear I was. But he was very receptive. He learned, he finished his heel flap, he turned his heel, and he started on the gusset while we were there. And it felt really exciting to actually sit down with someone that is interested in the same thing as you are, and that you can share that moment of teaching, right? Because it's to me, that was a very powerful moment of giving something of yourself to someone else, and then that person receiving it so lovingly and so gratefully. It was really cool. So it made me think of the kindness make along, the crafting kindness make along. I did not take pictures because I thought this is that would be awkward to take a picture and then go and post it on Instagram and say, "Ooh, I taught this guy how to turn a heel," or something like that. I don't know. It felt that didn't feel organic. The moment felt very organic, and I felt like making it into a selfie moment would not be, it would be superficial in a way that it didn't feel right. But anyway, long story, just to say, I happened to win a prize from the make-along, and I was very, very, very excited to receive it, and I'm going to show you. Hopefully, if you survived that long story, you will see what I got from Jake and Ray, and they were so nice and so kind. And the gift came in this little bag, which is awesome little bag. And I got a little sock pouch from this is big enough to put one skein, one cake of yarn, and or one ball of yarn to knit your socks from, which is really cool. I love it. This came from, her company is called Steel City Stitchers. I think she lives in Pittsburgh. Her name is Roberta. She has an Etsy shop. And actually, this, I'm very excited. This came also with a little lavender sachet. Oh, I think lavender sachet that matches it to keep unwanted critters away. It smells so nice, right? So to keep lavender keeps moths and you know, those critters that love to feast on your wools and woolens and that you don't want near you. But anyway, this is her Steel City Stitchers on Etsy, and it also came with a pin and a stitch marker. The most exciting part, I love the gifts. It's beautiful. It's very sweet. But the most exciting thing about this part is that I met Roberta last year at Rhinebeck. I didn't know who she was, but she was hanging out with Connie from ChileKnitz, and I was hanging out with Connie from ChileKnitz. And she was very sweet, and she was very kind, and she was really, really great lady, and very friendly and very welcoming. I was kind of like, you know, had no idea what I was doing, and she was very nice. And I am very excited that now I have one of her bags. Yay! So, kind of full circle in a way, but love it. And my next sock is going to go in here. So thank you, Roberta, and thank you, Jake and Ray. Also, I got some Zweig from Knitstar pins that will go in my bags immediately. I love this one, obviously, because that's their logo, but this one is so cute. Awkward as fuck. Oh my god. That's just me. See, my face and that sheet. Me. Awkward as fuck. So, perfect. Perfect gift. And I got this beauty also dyed by Jake. It's called Jamie Lannister's Underpants. When he showed this on his podcast, I almost fell out of my chair because it was so pretty. Right? And I was like, I love it. I love, 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 love it. And I guess he remembered that I loved it. I must have said that I really loved it because he remembered, and he sent it to me as a gift, a surprise for the make-along. This is absolutely beautiful. I really, really, I'm very touched, very, very touched, very grateful, and I will treasure it very much. It has 75% merino, 20% nylon, and 5% shiny. That's what it says. 5% shiny. I don't know that you can see it. It has stellina. I never thought I would like something with stellina in it, but I love it. I cannot wait to figure out what I'm going to use this on, because I'm going to use it on something for myself. I'm going to put it on a shawl for myself, I'm sure. I love it for many reasons. The colors are beautiful. Jamie Lannister spells his name the same way that I spell my name in Spanish. My name in Spanish is Jaime, and it's the same spelling as Jamie Lannister's spelling. So I love that. Also, love Jamie Lannister. It's an interesting character. And so on Game of Thrones, which Game of Thrones and Game of Thrones, really thoughtful in that way. And these colors are the opposite of what gender norms would say I should like, and I love them. So I'm going to use them exactly for all those reasons, and I'm going to love them even more. Right? So that's what I got. I also got a beautiful note from Jake that was very touching, very sweet. And I got this note from Ray. It's beautiful, and above all, the note inside is very, very touching and very beautiful, and it made me feel very special. I don't know if that's weird to say. It made me feel very special. It made me feel very loved in a way by people whom I've never met, but that I'm very fond of because I watch them on their podcast and I follow them on their Instagram, and I see their interactions, and I'm jealous because I want to be in the room with them and hang out with them and knit with them, or be a fly in Jake's studio when he's dying, or it's it was very touching and it was very sweet, and I felt very, very loved, and I thank you. I thank you for that. It was a very special gift, and I will cherish it very much for a long, long time. And I think that's all that I have for today. I thought it was going to be a short recording, and I kept babbling on. So we'll see how I can edit this down a little bit. But thank you for coming back. Thank you for... Oh, that's not it. Oops. Anyway, I just remembered because I wanted to say thank you for coming back. Thank you for for sending me notes and commenting and engaging me. I feel very very lucky that I can interact with people from across the country and across the world. Because of the podcast and Instagram, I'm able to talk to people in Australia, people in the West Coast, people in the Southwest, like Jake and Ray, and Rebecca from the Mean Girls podcast. That's what reminded me that I'm not done, because I chat with her often, and she's so fun, and she is my Westnitz soulmate. I think that we would make the most beautiful Westnitz together. But anyway, that and Aaron from Fiber Hustle, I love talking to him. He's so fun. But anyway, the Mean Girls podcast have a mean knit along, kind of as a response to the Crafting Kindness knit along by Jake and Ray, and they propose that you knit something that maybe was going to be for somebody else, but you decide to keep it. I don't know that I should be doing this in video, but I think my roommate doesn't watch this. Not only do I think, I'm pretty sure he doesn't watch this. So I don't think I'm going to participate because I'm not sure that I'm going to have time, but I wanted to share what I thought I would use in the knit along, with the mean knit along, because it's a brilliant idea, and I think it's diabolic what I'm going to say and I'm going to do. So it would fit right in. In January, I dragged my roommate with me to Vogue Knitting Live for the market section. And he, because he likes yarns and he likes knitted stuff, so I knit a lot of stuff for him. And he bought some ushitita. Skeins. And he said, keep them because you'll figure out what to do for me later on. He didn't say keep them for you. He said just, keep them, and then when I want a pattern or something, a scarf or a shawl or whatever, you could use those. He doesn't have great memory, so I think that I want to do a Vertices Unite by Stephen West in the future, maybe in later on this year. And I think I'm going to steal this from my roommate's Justitas and use it for my shawl without telling him. And then I'll make him something with these others. Right? That's terrible. I should not be saying this on video and then posting it on YouTube. But if I do that, I don't know that I will yet. But if I do that, that would be like so, like, I would give me the prize for the knit along, the Mean Girls knit along, for the Mean Cal. Just give me the prize. If I do that, I deserve a prize. I do. The colorway is Highlands, by the way. Isn't it beautiful? I'm gonna have to go to confession after this. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. But anyway, so by the way, we got that. I got, or he did, from the unit. from, see? Vogue Knitting Live 2018. He doesn't even remember. He doesn't know. He wouldn't know. There's a saying, something about what you don't see doesn't hurt you kind of thing. I don't know. I'm trying to justify in my head that he would never know, so it would never hurt nobody. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.